9:54 p.m. Wednesday, January 29th, 2020. Episode number 773 of UhhYeahDude. My name is Jonathan. This is Seth. Hello, Seth.
It is good to see you. That's a sight for sore eyes right there.
Kicking it off late night style in 2020.
Episode, hey, it's 2020. So what are you going to do?
You stay up.
Episode
Stay up late.
773
Sorry,
of our
let me
comedy
get a swig of my-
podcast. What do you get that?
Okay, let me Taco Chica.
What is it called?
Taco Chica.
Is it sure you're pronouncing that right? Episode 773, UhhYeahDude, America Through the Eyes of Two American Americans. Thank you so much for joining us. We started in February of 2006. It's now February in 2020. That's amazing. Coming up on 14 years. Thank you. Hey, can't we all just... let's all just...
What? Can we all just what?
Just hold the door open for one another and say please and thank you.
But you're not supposed to do that anymore, right? Because it's like...
Oh. Can we all...
Because isn't it like, I'm a gentleman, I'm holding it open because you're a woman, you're a weak woman, you can't open the door?
You can't open the door? That upper body strength is
tiny
so...
little fingers,
please.
frail little arms.
Dainty little fucking arms.
Let me get this for you.
Okay, never mind. Everyone is like...
Hey, sweet tits, let me grab this door for you.
We get... Hey...
Probably can't with that tight little ass. Probably couldn't even open
Probably
this door.
Probably couldn't even make it through with that fucking... Can you even make it through?
No, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to be courteous.
You're supposed to just...
be courteous.
Be courteous. Everyone
Don't open the door, expect to get your fucking dick sucked. Just open the fucking door.
I'm just trying to open the door for people.
Shit here, man.
Don't
open the door expecting a fucking,
Everyone's going through some shit, so just can we respect one another, please?
I open the door and I look directly down at the floor and I refuse to make any eye contact or acknowledge the person who I'm providing the service for.
Okay, bow.
So I do not look as though I remotely want to engage or that I expect anything whatsoever in return. This is for a male, female, or otherwise.
And you also hold it.
I
hold it for 10 full minutes.
Arm's length, and I put my head down.
You do 100 breaths. And then 100 breaths, you let it go, and hopefully no one's in the middle.
No child is on the way in. The results are finally in for the first chocolate chip cookie bake-off in space. Stupid.
What was that?
I said it's stupid.
No, what was it?
I said it's the first chocolate chip cookie bake-off on space.
On space.
On space. While looking more or less normal, the best cookies required 2 hours of baking time last month up at the International Space Station. It takes far less time on Earth, under 20 minutes. How do they taste? Well, nobody knows.
What do you mean?
So what do you mean?
How do you know?
Still sealed in individual baking pouches and packed in their spaceflight container, the cookies remain frozen in a Houston area lab after splashing down 2 weeks ago in a SpaceX capsule. They were the first food baked in space from raw ingredients. The makers of the oven expected a difference in baking time in space, but not that big. Quote, there is still a lot to look into in order to figure out what's really driving that difference, but definitely a cool result.
Well, how do you...
Mary Murphy, the manager for Texas-based NanoRacks, said this week, overall, I think it's a pretty awesome first experiment.
NanoRacks?
NanoRacks. Means little titties.
In robot speak, right? Yeah. That's how robots talk.
Means little tits in robot.
You mean when a robot speaks to another robot on her NanoRack? Yeah, you might want to work on that. If it took you 2 hours to bake a cookie, you might want to work on it.
They've never done it before. They didn't know.
Okay.
They had no idea.
Okay. My bad. I want everything like that. No patience.
Located near NASA's Johnson Space Station, NanoRacks designed and built the small electric test oven that was launched to the space station last November. 5 frozen raw cookies were already up there. Italian astronaut Luca Parmentano was the master baker in December, radioing down a description as he baked them one by one in the prototype 0G oven. The first cookie in the oven for 25 minutes at 300 degrees Fahrenheit ended up seriously underbaked.
Okay.
How do they know this if they never fucking tasted them? Oh, they can feel it.
Oh, okay.
They can squeeze them. He more than doubled the baking time for the next 2. The results were still so-so.
Okay.
The 4th cookie stayed in the oven over 2 hours. And finally, success. Quote, so this time I do see some browning.
Okay.
Parmitano radioed. I can't tell you whether it's cooked all the way or not, but it certainly does look like cookie. It certainly doesn't look like cookie dough anymore. He then cranked the oven up to its maximum 325 degrees for the 5th cookie and baked it for 130 minutes, and he reported more success.
That's the best one, huh?
But also, you have a fucking oven that can only go up to 325 degrees. No wonder it's taking you fucking 22 hours to
work
cook
on
things.
it.
I did work on it, you fucking dummy.
Yeah.
Additional testing is required to determine whether the 300 returned cookies. Excuse me.
Well, in space, they multiply. Like
they grow.
I have a
Additional testing is required
one
to
major
determine
question.
whether the 3 returned cookies are safe to eat. As for aroma, the astronauts could smell the cookies when they
it
removed
smells like
them from the
fresh-baked
oven,
cookies.
except for the first.
Anybody eat one?
But isn't that cruel to be like make astronauts who are like already stuck out, like
just up there all
just
alone?
smell these cookies and then put them in
Bake
a bag,
them, smell them, put them back,
bring
and
them back to
shoot
us.
them on down to Houston.
That's the beauty of baking in space, according to former
What
NASA
is-
astronaut Mike Massimo.
You don't get to eat them.
He now teaches at Columbia University and is a paid spokesman for the DoubleTree by Hilton.
Well.
The hotel chain provided the cookie dough, the same kind used for cookies offered to hotel guests.
This is Hilton cookie dough? I didn't know
It's offering
this.
one of the space-baked cookies to the Smithsonian Institution's National Air and Space Museum for display. The
Guys.
reminder of home, the connection with home, I think can't be overstated, Massimo said. From my personal experience, food
Home being a Hilton?
is DoubleTree by Hilton.
You know,
For my
there's
personal
no place like home,
DoubleTree.
like DoubleTree.
Food is pretty important for not just nutrition, but also for morale and keeping people connected to their home and to their earth. Eating something other than dehydrated or prepackaged food
I guess.
will be particularly important as astronauts head back to the moon and on to Mars.
Yeah, but when they fucking eat them, looking at them is one thing, but you make cookies. Doesn't matter what they look like, what they fucking taste like. I know presentation is everything for you, but what's it taste like?
Well, I
Would you
think
rather have a
it-
delicious tasting cookie that looks like shit, or a beautiful cookie that you're like, this don't work?
I mean, I would believe
Or
that
they're afraid to eat them because who knows what the fuck
that-
stardust got in it?
it
Who
got
knows?
too much stardust inside it. The other thing is, I bet you any cookie, when you've fucking been living on a fucking stupid space station for 60 days or whatever the fuck,
Yeah.
literally, you would be like, I don't give a fuck.
2-year-old Chips
But
Ahoy.
You're gonna make
Fuck
me
this bag up.
bake fresh ones and then not
Watch them.
like you can. Why would you even? Okay,
I'm listening.
I'm just thinking like of
Okay.
all the things.
Are walnuts in this? Like my cookie's female, no nuts.
Obviously, people have been at this space station. People have been eating in space since the 1960s.
Since the dawn of time. Oh,
People have
since the
probably been
60s.
cooking in space, but it's only reheating and repackaging, right? I mean, reheating and
MREs,
animating.
Yeah,
it.
yeah. Reanimating.
But you're still pouring boiling water into a fucking ramen cup, or you're still dehydrating your fucking steak. Why would they just not be like, listen, it's up to you. Like you're like, if something happens to you, you don't get to sue us. But if you want to eat one of these cookies, eat one of these fucking cookies.
Probably because like if he eats it and dies and he's up there, it's like, oh fuck, the only dude that's up there is dead.
It's not the only. He's not up there alone.
Oh, he's not up there alone. He's got a
He's
crew.
kicking it solo in the space station.
Well, how many people up there? Not that many.
4.
But who knows? Just by ingesting that fucking space cookie, touching
There's
him
never
could
any
kill
less
you.
than 3 in it. And there's as many as 6 or 8 when they're doing shift changes with like other countries and shit.
Shift changes.
Yeah, they come up there. No one's ever not on it. So when crews are relieved, there are a couple of days that occur where the new crew and the old crew are together exchanging notes, and then the old
But
crew
we
goes
don't
back
know.
down.
He ingests the cookie. It could be toxic.
Well, so then why?
Just-
At least then you have your fucking answer, rather than going down to Houston and putting him in a freezer forever and thinking,
Somebody's got to be the first person to taste the cookie. Who's it going to be?
who's it going to be? It's going to be some scrubby ass scrub, not some like valued astronaut.
That's what they'll
They're
do.
gonna get
They'll
a prisoner to do it.
Yeah. Hey, come here. You want to cut 6 months off your sentence? Try this.
Richard Ramirez still alive?
Who's left?
Make him eat these
Yeah.
cookies.
Bring it to maximum security in fucking Florence, Colorado, and just toss it in there. Who wants it? I wouldn't eat that fucking thing. You have no idea.
I would have eaten it.
You would have eaten all 5. Oh, I was supposed to send them back? I ate all 5.
I need 5 for me and 5 to send back home.
5 for me, 5 for back home. 5 for this lady astronaut. I think we're kind of hitting it off. She's from Russia, maybe. I don't know.
It's hard to tell.
Here, I baked you this. Try it. Send that home. What about that raw ingredients? I don't know about that.
That's the whole reason they won't let him eat it. Because the raw ingredients were mixed and made up there. So maybe there's some type of space transformation.
You have no idea.
I suppose there is something to be said for if it had taken the same amount of time as it does on Earth.
Yes.
Maybe you'd be like, I'm eating this fucking thing. But at the point that it takes 2 hours, you're probably like, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't want this.
This is
Something's
weird.
wrong with this.
This is
Well, the shitty oven that fucking space
that's the other
rack
thing. It's
sent
like
up.
a my first
Yeah.
fucking like a
Yeah.
wake and bake.
Fisher Price, like my first wake and bake.
What were
By
they
Dank
called?
Industries. Fisher Dank Industries.
What were those called?
My first oven. I don't know what the fuck that shit was called.
Huh?
Easy bake oven.
Easy
Jeff
bake.
said.
Thank you very
Jeffrey.
much.
Easy bake oven.
Wake and bake oven. Have you ever thought about what to do with your body when you die?
No.
More Americans are choosing cremation over traditional burials.
Okay.
A new survey says a report by insurance firm Choice Mutual Fund found that 44% of Americans plan to be cremated. 40% increase from the 1960s.
Okay.
Traditional burials were the second most popular choice, with 35% of Americans
Can't even do it.
preferring
Needs to be outlawed.
ground method.
What method?
Ground method.
Oh, like buried? It's insane.
Choice Mutual surveyed 1,500 people in the U.S. on their burial preferences and practices. Other burial preferences included donating their bodies to science.
All right.
It's not really burial. They also call burial preferences. It's not. It's only burial if you're under the ground. So it should just be called like, what, death prep or something.
Not okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like burial's only burial, right?
Burial's only burial.
It's not. Cremation is considered a burial option, but that's not burial.
Not burial.
It's disposal.
Okay. It just
Body disposal.
Keepsake.
Corpse disposal.
Corpse keepsake.
Oh, you mean it's a keepsake because it becomes like a can of
with it.
fucking...
It's with you at all times.
No, it's not.
Cell phone, wallet, mama. Right, you got everything? That's how I do. Cell phone, wallet, wow.
There's got to be a better term for that because burial in itself makes you think about that still being an option. And like you're saying, it probably shouldn't even be an option.
Let me just throw out something to everything. I don't want to scream into the mic. I was told not to scream into the mic. When you're fucking dead, shut the fuck up. There ain't no more options. It's over.
But what's the best way of dealing with the bodies?
Definitely not burying them underground so you can look at like, what are we doing with all this? Well, this is just filled with dead people. What do you mean? Well, what we used to do is we would, when you passed away,
I'm listening.
we would, friends, kinfolk, would get out the shovels and we would dig a hole and then we put the body in it. Okay, all right, and then you'd cover the dirt and put, okay, and then you just did, yeah. So there's just miles of land where just for thousands of years, it's just little plots of all the, really? That's a crazy idea. Well, so what do we do with it? Can we build here? Can I put a T-Mobile store here? No, this is a cemetery.
No, you
this
can't.
This is sacred ground.
It's just going to be 1,000 years before you can do it.
Oh, so I have to wait but this is a mile long. What are we doing with this? Could we set up tents for homeless people? No, homeless people are still alive, so fuck them. It's the dead people that we're going to take care of. But I thought the world was for the living. Seth, you've got it all wrong. The world is for dead people from hundreds of years ago. Really?
Well, they are beautiful places to
all
go.
Cemeteries are immediately shut down, and they're now allowed. You can put any homeless people can park
Any
their
condos
vans,
you want.
anything you want. You now live here.
Condominium.
You have a safe place. Thank you. No, but this person that died 400 years ago, there's a little plot of land and a kind of an old marker. I can't really read it. It's 300 years ago or 400 years ago. And what are we going to do with this? We're going to just forever? Yep. Forever. but they're dead. And I think everyone that they knew was dead. And I think everyone that they knew 10 times over is dead. Seth, you're just rude. You just don't understand.
But
Worst use of fucking space imaginable.
yeah, but that's more because of the fact that you're not allowed to use the space for anything else. Because technically the space that the bodies themselves are occupying, we're not doing anything with.
Meaning?
Because they're in the ground.
Well, it's not allowed anymore.
But I'm saying...
They're coming up.
But I'm saying it's not... The issue is not the fact that we bury them. It's that we don't do anything on top of where we bury them.
So you say we still should bury, but still build on top.
I mean, we are you and I right now, and everyone else is standing on top of dead people,
So
no
many dead
question.
people. In this apartment alone?
But it's just that they're far enough in our past that it's not our past, it's someone else's. So it doesn't matter.
Okay.
So
But
why
how
not?
past does it have to get for it to be?
I said 1,000 years, but I was being sarcastic. But I mean,
How about 10?
we built on Indian burial grounds, right?
You and I?
I
Never.
believe at least once, you or I, one of us has.
Talking about
Unwittingly.
talking about the Poltergeist series? What are you speaking of?
No, I mean there's so that was just one civilization to another.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That was one society overwhelming another one and literally then being like, well, your cemeteries don't count. It's our cemeteries that count now.
Rude.
But, okay, so let's just talk. But ecologically, it's not good either, right? Because
Probably not.
Humans'
Let's
bodies
get into- yeah.
get nasty and
Get into the water or something?
okay. So, but I believe the thing about the burial in the ground thing is that it's a very core primal instinct of animals and humans to cover up things.
Genitals? Cover up?
Well,
Clothing.
Animals bury, eggs. Animals bury feces.
because
animals
they're
bury,
animals.
Well, right, but that's where we started doing this. We started doing it
Oh,
before
to mimic,
we knew.
we mimicked the animal.
No, we
Oh.
started doing it before we could contemplate it.
Okay.
It was an instinctual move before it was like, hey, I'm going to open this place. It's called Forest Lawn. I mean,
Okay.
we were burying people in the ground when we didn't know what else to do. It was what we felt compelled to do as some sort of,
Okay.
fucking cave tribe or whatever the
Okay.
fuck. So whatever that is, that seems less brutal, I think, is the fact that the idea of destroying the body of someone that you, of a loved one, is too difficult to deal with, and that burning a body to us, to some, seems too harsh of a treatment of that carcass.
Okay.
So if you can't bury it and
Yeah.
you can't burn it,
Well, you can because there's a new law. It's called Get Over It.
but then I don't know. When I look in India and I see all those fucking crazy, like, if everybody was getting cremated, bro, you might be like, all right, maybe we could bury some of them because this is a lot of fucking
But we're
burning
not going to
bodies.
do it at sea. We're going to do it in the facility.
Well, what's a facility? They do it in India. They do it right by the fucking Ganges.
That's what I'm saying.
And you can like go by and like,
but that's not going in the water. That's not.
but what? It's all going in the water eventually.
It has to be ingested by family members. It's a new law. I'm sorry.
I'm saying there's nothing to do with the amount of fucking dead bodies. There's no... That was an exploding vintage soda in your closet. Is that possible?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Wrapped in a bag just in case that happened.
Insane. Please tell me I'm wrong. That was a Pepsi One or like a... Whoa. That sounds like an empty can to me. Oh, it's an UhhYeahDude. It was a faulty UhhYeahDude beer. We get to sue these motherfuckers for not only using our likeness and name.
It must. What do you think? I kept one full just for. I have empty cans for press, for the archives. I kept one full. I was wondering. I put it in a bag, just thinking at some point it's going to explode, right?
Why did it explode so soon?
I don't know.
Oh, because it's like a sour. Maybe it was like chemically changing inside.
Because of the sour, yes.
Because it's a
I
bitter?
have no idea.
You can smell it.
God, I want that so bad. I'm gonna lick that fucking shit up off the floor. This is a huge.
Is it all over the floor?
Yeah, it's a.
Is it gonna make you crazy the whole show? Should we stop? Was you
No,
clean up?
it's gonna make me more than crazy. Good thing I put it at least in that bag.
But is it only in the bag or is it?
No, it looked like I got it on my hand when I moved the
It
bag.
smells so good.
Oh God, should we lick it up? What's left, and then just stop doing the show for
Did we
just
make
go to a bar?
Jeff drink some?
No, we need. You have to lick this up. It's the only one I have. I got more coming, but for now. Oh man, I can smell the fun.
You can smell the fun inside. So wait, do we need to pause for a second so you can clean up?
Pause for a second.
Okay. Okay, we're back. We were talking about burying ourselves.
Was that a sign?
I don't know. It felt a little spooky considering the subject matter, the explosion, and the fact that it was something with our names on it. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling I had.
I fucking loved it.
Let me get through the stats really quick,
Okay.
and then we can discuss our options.
Why? I don't know nothing.
People donate their bodies to science now because they want to
Love
help
it.
improve medical practices. And with
Beautiful.
the eco-friendly burials, people are a lot more conscious of the environment. Americans are also opting for unique arrangements for their cremated remains, including launching them into space. Sure, that's ecologically sound, right?
Definitely.
Some rocket fuel. Having them compressed into a diamond. Compressed to a diamond. Compress me to a diamond. The most popular option was having their ashes spread in a specific location, as we spoke about, I think, last week. 40% of them would like to be spread in a specific locale, followed by their ashes being kept by a family member and eaten
Partner.
spoon by spoonful, day after day, week after week. 1 in 10 Americans who plan to be cremated want to be planted as a tree. More Americans are shifting toward more non-traditional plans, such as sea burial, plastination. Don't know what that is.
Plastination.
Is that what Body World? But you can just do it and like not be put on display. You could just like.
Oh, we'll be on display. The Smithsonian. With microphones. With these microphones. We just take the living room. We set it up. It's a pop-up, but it's us. We're there. Some cards spread out.
But the entire thing's plastinized.
We're plastinized. I want you mid-laugh. I want to be leaning in, like I'm saying something really funny, and you're mid-laugh. So people remember us that way.
Yeah.
It's just the idea that I guess we're only here for that long.
Or forever.
Or forever. It's just, there's a certain, the idea of just that, listen, all about that sentimentality and remembering and the idea of just the sort of, the idea of a cemetery now, today, just as for the use of it, it just doesn't seem sustainable in terms of.
No, I mean, it should probably go where all our, I mean, neither are landfills, but we still are using those. So, I mean, I guess maybe just combo those two and just put it where you put all the rest of the
like
garbage.
Uber Eats and just deliver it. Just deliver it all. Everyone just get
a little
delivered.
bit. Everyone just gets a little bit
All
of
around.
everybody all the
It's
time.
amazing.
It is unsustainable. It doesn't make any sense, like you're saying, especially in metropolitan areas. There's probably
Anywhere, just-
better use of that land as far as providing.
I mean, no disrespect in this.
No, I don't think you do. I think you mean all the respect to the people, like you're saying, the living people who are suffering without land or homes that maybe, I guess you're going to let them live on cemeteries, but whatever.
Yeah.
Let the homeless live in the cemeteries. That's you're dead to us anyway, so you might as well go in there.
And then we'll just drop you in.
What about just keeping all the? What about like we do with our cities? What about building them up, not expanding, but just going higher with them?
cemeteries built into the sky.
Yeah.
The cemetery to the sky all the way to Jizo. God, that beer has got me like...
What would you like to have done with you? What about how in Tibet they take your body and just chop you up and put you on a mountaintop and let the vultures tear you apart and basically use you as food? Because by cremating you, you're also wasting the fact that you could be actually used as food for another living thing, as you were saying.
Are you saying that that's what we should do to the homeless people? We should be serving them people?
Serve people to people.
Oh my!
Well, what should we be doing? We should be feeding the homeless to the vultures.
Feeding the homeless to the vault? What?
No, I'm saying, what about your body being utilized as food for the animals, for the animal kingdom?
For the animal kingdom, because we are all one.
Feed us to the lions or sharks or whoever would eat us.
Take the body and feed it, give it back to the land.
Because by burning it, you're still creating...
I guess that's bad,
right?
And then, yeah.
Carcinogens or carbons, smokes.
So you're saying when I die, feed me to the animals.
Feed me to the sharks.
Is this grass-fed? It's jaw-fed. This burger is delicious. There's a reason why.
Because it's filled with tater tots and fucking vegan burgers.
Oh, that beer has got me fired up, yo. Don't you want a cold hoss right now?
No. You do, because it's all over you.
Man.
But like, if you stay alive when you die, like if you're still cognizant,
That'd be the worst.
Would you rather be burned or would you rather be buried? If you're gonna know that it's happening.
I'd have to be burned. I can't be buried. Can it be in an elevator? Gonna be buried?
So you're gonna be burned.
I can't be in an elevator alive. How can I be buried dead alive? Conscious, cognizant. Major League Baseball's Milwaukee Brewers. Brewers.
We're familiar.
The Brewers.
George Brett was a brewer.
George Brett was never a brewer.
Royal? He was a royal. My bad.
That's Lord in her song, Royals.
Who's a famous brewer?
How about Robin Yount? Was he a brewer?
What about Rod Carew?
How about Rod Carew?
Yes?
I think so.
Thank you.
The Major League Baseball's Milwaukee Brewers have played the last 20 years, including this upcoming baseball season, will be the 20th season. George Brett. Like super famous player, never played for the Brewers. It's okay.
I meant Rod Carew.
You meant
I
Rod
get them
Carew.
confused.
Did Rod Carew play for the Brewers? I can recreate Rod Carew's batting stance.
Okay, well, while
And
you
I'll
do
do
that,
right now I could do that.
what does that mean? He's got a crazy stance?
Yes, I could recreate his batting stance. They've played at Miller Park,
Yes.
named after the Miller Brewing Company, founded in 1855. Miller High Life, the champagne of beers. They played at Milwaukee County Stadium from 1970 to 2000.
He's a twin
He was a Minnesota Twin.
for like ever.
And then an Angel, right?
And then an Angel.
Okay, that's...
At the end.
Just make sure Robin Yount played for the Brewers.
Fuck you.
Fuck. Sorry, everybody. This is our inside baseball podcast we're doing. 20 seasons. Miller Park.
Rolly Fingers.
Yeah. That
Paul Molitor.
Paul Molitor.
Robin Yount.
Okay. Yount. The Yount.
These are George Scott.
No. Sorry.
Nobody else.
Starting...
Prince Fielder. Is that Cecil Fielder?
That's Cecil Fielder's Prince, his name is. Starting next year, the stadium will be sponsored by American Family Insurance, and the ballpark will be renamed from Miller Park to American Family Field. American Family Insurance, insure carefully, dream fearlessly, name terribly. So Miller Park, beers, party, summertime.
Why would Miller let that happen?
20-year, they did a 20-year naming rights and it ended, and American Family
And
Insurance
they chose
came
not
in.
to renew it?
American Family Insurance came in and said, how much they giving you? We'll double it. And Miller was like, we're barely a beer now. We're owned by some other multinational. There's nothing we can do. So...
Remember when we went to the Lakefront Brewery and they had the old...
Yeah. Bernie Brewer. I don't know. In the 70s, I don't know. I think it went into the 80s a little bit. You hit a home run, he fucking slides out of his like chateau into the fucking beer mug like, we don't have shit like that no more.
No.
Lakefront Brewery also had the bottling line from
Laverne and
Laverne
Shirley.
and Shirley. How cool was that?
Which I took a picture of with Seth leaning Laverne style.
Doing it. Was I Laverne or was I
You were
Shirley?
Shirley.
Oh, I am a Shirley. A lot of people do. Are you a Miranda? Or are you a Charlie?
We
always do Laverne
yeah.
and Shirley. We always have. We kind of started that.
It's our thing.
Always been a Shirley.
That's what it's. That's the things that everyone's doing on Instagram now. Like
Oh,
what
the
Disney
LinkedIn.
character?
Oh, I haven't
like,
seen this. But this new one. What's this?
so bad.
No, we've always done Laverne and Shirley.
Which Laverne or
Are
Shirley?
you a Lenny
are
or a
you?
Squiggy? We don't play that.
We don't play
do
that.
Laverne and Shirley.
I thank you.
So yeah, that's not as cool. But hey, man. Hey, man, what are you gonna do?
I mean, it's.
You want a beer? They don't serve beer anymore. They just do insurance policies. You have to
sign up for.
You have to sign up
full
for
coverage.
like full benefits like dental. Can I get a beer? No. Sorry. It's too bad. It's too bad.
What is the name of it?
American Family Insurance, the American Family Field.
No,
Come
no, no.
on, family.
American Family Field.
American Family Field.
Is that all? That'll be its name.
American Family Field.
I mean, that's just, if anything, about the most boring.
It's about-
drab. It's not as bad as like. At least it's. I mean, it's says American and Field in it. That's good.
Yeah, you do play in a field, and we're all Americans there enjoying it. And there's a lot of families. It could be worse.
Could be worse.
Could be
It
worse.
seems pretty literal. Is the problem?
Yeah.
It's a little too literal.
American hot dog eating family field.
Stick and ball place.
Wow.
American Insurance Company owns Stick and Ball place.
So yeah, Miller. Bye. Goodbye.
Rod Carew.
Do you know what we do here?
I wonder
you know
how
what
Rod-
Carew,
you know how Rod
you know home
feels
runs?
about it?
Rod Carew. I'm gonna give you Rod Carew right now. Should I get my baseball bat?
Is he like knock-kneed kind
No,
of or
yeah,
something?
he would hold the bat. I have to get a bat for this.
You have to get a bat.
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry.
Here we go. What is that bat?
Oh, this is a. Actually, this bat is a.
Oh yeah, dude bat?
This is a Louisville Slugger. UID 2006 for life. Seth Romatelli, Jonathan Larroquette. Fine with 49 seatbelts. Rodney gave us.
Is that
this.
Rodney?
Look at that. That's a real bat made.
I didn't get one of these. You got one of these.
That's ours. It's not mine.
Well, can I take it home tonight?
No.
I need one for my whip
uh,
so I can find that motherfucker who's talking shit.
yeah, I don't want you. I don't
What
want
is
you to
this
bash anybody.
sweet color? What is this?
What's that
could
colorway?
Could I play this in? You can
wear
Is this official?
It
Could
can
I
only
take this out?
Only at Miller Park. You can only use it for one more
Pine
season.
A little pine tar on
Got
this
all the
bad
George
boy?
Brett's pine tar from all the pine tar you used to use at the old field. Here we go.
All right, Rod Carew's stance. Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. I remember that. It's pretty good. It's creepy but good.
Thank you. Thank you very
It's
much.
exactly what it was. It was like perpendicular to his body.
I just saw that bat. Then the spilled beer made me think of the beer.
Beer made me think of baseball.
And then
Baseball makes me think of...
baseball mistakes led me all to Carew. Although Robin Yount was correct. He did play for the Brewers. Paul Molitor.
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's just not as cool. But what are you going to do?
Nothing. You're not going to do a fucking thing.
There's nothing you could do.
You ain't going to do shit.
I mean...
Because you're a pussy.
Like what?
No, I mean, no. It's
anything.
I remember Staples Center starting, and I was like...
What?
This is like so whack. I was like, "What do you mean Staples Center?
like
Like
Great
that's
Western
a terrible,
Forum.
that's a terrible name." And people were like, "What's the big deal?" And I'm like, "Well, because it's like a shitty place. Like
Staples.
yeah, it's like whack. Like I don't. Doesn't matter anymore."
Doesn't matter anymore.
I remember the terrible one of the big upset ones years ago was when they with 3Com. Because 3Com, that was like a short-lived San Francisco. It was like they went from Candlestick.
Oh, really?
And then Candlestick got renamed 3Com, and people were like,
really?
hell no. But then the Giants moved anyway.
Okay.
But it was 3Com Stadium for
What's
a second.
that?
and-
Like, what's 3Com? Like
exactly.
tape? What are
They were like, it was like Kyocera. Like, it was something.
Oh, I love that. Kyocera Arena. That's where all my childhood memories were made. The Kyocera Arena. Oh,
Let me just
man.
make sure. I think it was, they might have renamed Candlestick Park that, and people were like, you can't do that.
Yeah, verify that. Verify that. Did you know that humans and gorillas share about 98% of their genetic code?
For once.
How's that?
What? How much?
98%.
Yeah, but aren't dogs like 99%?
Oh,
like
dogs
us?
are more? You're saying dogs are more human than gorillas. Okay. Interesting. Let me think about that. I mean, my science knowledge is limited. I don't think that that's correct.
Well, we're gonna find out after I've
Blow my mind
checked
right
this
now.
Candlestick Park.
Blow my mind. Give me each year and give me the naming rights.
Former names: Harney Stadium in 1956 through
Okay.
59, Candlestick Park from 1960 to 1995, 3Com Park at Candlestick Point
Oh.
from 1995 to 2002, then called Candlestick Park again in 2008
Wow.
to 2013. Now called, and also called Monster Park from 2004 to
Just
2008.
one night. Monster Energy took over for one night. Or maybe
But they don't play there anymore?
Monster.com. No, they play at Levi's Stadium.
Thank you.
In Santa Clara.
So what happens? It's just like a flea market now?
It's a cemetery now. It's an ancient burial ground. All the sports players from the area.
The last event held at Candlestick was a concert
Who?
by Sir Paul McCartney in August of 2014, and the demolition of the stadium was completed in September of 2015.
Wow.
As of 2019, the site is planned to be redeveloped into office space, an
Cool.
immersive 3D experience.
Yeah.
of the movie.
You get a fucking bat. You like
Get
bash
the Xerox
bash
machine.
the cup. Yeah.
Office space. It's in a dumpy ass area, if I remember.
Okay.
Because there was an RV park when my dad drove us on tour. On Jogger, No Such Thing, and Daedalus and us. We went on tour up the West Coast, and my dad drove us for about half the
Amazing.
tour in his RV.
Amazing.
And we towed a Jeep behind us in the RV.
How am I
And
not
when
watching
we-
a documentary of that? Like,
And when
tonight?
we got to San Francisco, the RV was too big to take into the city. So he parked at an RV park at Candlestick, which was like, and then he like unhooked the Jeep and we like loaded the gear in, and he was like, all right, go play your show. And then like, and I'm going to stay here. And I was like, I don't want you to stay here.
I love
was
you
like,
too. I love
worried.
you.
I love you too much
Love
to
you,
let
Dad.
you
You're not a
stay.
regular driver. You're my dad driver.
You're my sweet dad driver.
UhhYeahDude.
You let us smoke pot in that RV, and we got pulled over.
Did he really?
We got pulled over,
cool.
and we had been smoking joints,
Marijuana. You're smoking
marijuana
illegal
cigarettes
marijuana.
in a state where that is not legal, and we got pulled over because my pops was whipping in that
Speeding.
bad boy in that rig.
He loves it.
And they let him go because he's
Just gave him an autograph.
he was like,
Officer.
you John Larroquette. He was like, I love that show, love you,
Hey,
and I was nervous.
don't.
I was nervous I was gonna get my father in trouble.
No, you weren't worried about yourself. You're worried
Of
about
course
your
not.
dad.
Why would I be?
Wow.
I'm just living my truth.
You just live in your selfless truth. I'm not worried about me getting pinched. I'm worried about my
Pop-
old man.
My papa.
I love you, Papa.
No, yeah, he drove us 5 shows or something like that, 6 shows up the West Coast, and
So
then
awesome.
he parted ways with us in Canada and drove back down, and we went over the border, and then
With all your illegal drugs, made it over the border, and I miss you, Papa. We needed you then.
you
Today.
remember that, right? It
I do.
was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago, but hey, you're still here.
Here I am.
Here you are. Be here now. 98% humans and gorillas. Let me tell you why this is
Not as much as dogs, though.
not as much as dogs. Dogs are 99%. Cats are 99.5%. A team of eye experts have operated on an unusual patient. A gorilla. A cataract was removed from the left eye of a 3-year-old Western lowland gorilla who lives at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. The gorilla, named Leslie, was given a muscle blocker to keep her still while a team that included vets along with anesthesiologists and a top-notch, world-renowned ophthalmology team from UC San Diego Health They removed the cloudy lens of the gorilla and they replaced it with an artificial lens that should last her for her entire life. Cataract surgeon Chris Heischel, who led the team and has performed thousands of these operations, said it was his very first on a gorilla. So they just laced it up with some propofol, put her to sleep, put in a new bionic dope eye that will last her forever.
But it works as an eye.
It's an eye.
It's not just like a little like.
No, it doesn't look just cool.
It's not like a falsie.
Yeah, like, oh, beautiful, like changes colors. No, it's an eye. It works, and that's insane. And that's going to open up a lot of possibilities for surgery, both necessary medical surgeries, but also I think elective,
Just fun.
surgeries.
Just to lace me out.
Yeah.
I can't find how similar. Obviously, I'm full of shit about.
Sure, you're right.
But they have odd similarities. I know that. But obviously, but what about
that LASIK that this fucking gorilla just got?
what about interspecial impregnation?
Interspecial impregnation. You mean working towards that medically?
I just wonder if it's ever happened.
You mean secretly? Has it ever happened and we haven't been told?
Well, we weren't there for it,
We weren't, because it's happened in the past.
or maybe we just were sleeping.
Sleeping collectively, a consciousness?
No, just we were napped.
Oh.
Whoever was closest to it happening
Through it.
Slept through it.
The birth. It's something you want worked on. If they can remove the cataract from a gorilla.
No,
then
I was
certainly-
thinking more about similarities in DNA and how close would it have to be
very close.
that you could trick DNA into believing that it had been fertilized or
by the same species. This is something
different species.
But making that
Believing it's been
that-
fertilized by, yes. Or I guess it wouldn't have to be. Yeah, it would have to trick the egg. I
not
guess?
the human psyche wouldn't have to trick the human
My understanding
body
is
would
that
have to
two
be.
female. Yeah.
Or what's your understanding? Oh, please go with that. Feel free to tell us your
Not-
understanding on interspecial impregnation.
no.
My understanding is, tell me more about the embryos.
I believe two female human embryos
Two
can fertilize
embryos.
each other,
Okay.
and the result's always female.
Okay. So we sperm involved in any species.
No. I'm just saying, female human egg from another human, from another female human, or for two.
God. Give Mizu's like
Maybe that beer got me
Mizu's
going
like,
a little
yeah,
crazy.
Just the smell of it, like
Two female embryos can
just
fertilize one
create
another, and the result
life.
is always female.
Life. It's always life because life finds a way.
I'm full of shit.
If you do not have Patreon and you have not watched this, if you've not
interspecial
watched this video,
impregnation.
I want you to YouTube Rod Carew and just imagine whatever you watch.
No, you should
I
sign
did
up on
exactly.
Patreon to see what Seth does, and then compare it
Because each
to
week
Rod
he's gonna
Carew's
play-
actual.
He's going to do a different basketball. He's going to do next week a basketball player's shooting style. You know how Lionel Messi shoots his penalty shots? I'm doing that in early March.
Is that the underhand?
No,
What is
Lionel Messi he's a soccer
Oh,
player.
his
I think,
penalty
yeah.
shots.
His
Sorry.
what'd I say?
No, you said that. I was
Okay.
thinking free throws for
Yeah,
some reason.
I'm going to do Rick Barry's underhand.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that in an episode.
It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be
guys.
really great.
Guys, stay tuned. Hey,
Stay tuned, man. You know Richard Petty, how he hits the left turn?
I'm gonna reenact.
I'm going to
that
reenact it
in the
on
living room
the couch.
Um,
A paper published in the Journal of School Psychology found that nearly all, that's 94%.
like, can monkeys impregnate other
human mothers?
other monkeys that are like close enough, and then they create like a new monkey, like a new breed of monkey?
You say that again?
Well, because like a dog, a Rottweiler can fuck a poodle, and they make a fucking a Prottweiler or whatever, right? So why can't like a chimp fuck a fucking
A Reese's monkey has
a tree
intercourse with
a tree climber.
Okay.
And make like a fucking. That has to have happened.
You know how I want you to find out? I want you to whisper the question into the team when they're doing
I
the
guess
eye
maybe- are
surgery
they
on this
different-
gorilla.
I know dogs
Hold on,
are
we have a student here. He has a question. Hey, while you're doing that cataract surgery, quick question. Let's say a monkey. Get this fucking guy out of the operating room. Not now, sir.
Because they're saying that's not a different species.
I don't know.
Because it's different breeds of the same species.
Okay.
But I don't buy it.
You don't buy it,
No,
man.
I just am wondering. But monkeys, that's just different breeds of monkeys, right?
Not sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well, no, that's no, it's not.
That's exactly my point.
Yeah. Your ignorance is my point. Listen, 94%.
You don't have all the answers, man.
No, not about science.
I'm going to look up.
This I have.
Give me.
A paper published in the Journal of School Psychology found that nearly all, that's 94% of middle school teachers are highly stressed. Yeah. Yeah. I know that's a paper. I know you publish it in your journal. We know this. What are we going to do about it? That's the question.
Interspecial, I don't
Oh,
even think is a
fuck.
word.
It's not a word?
So I'm just like a Google. I got like a Google whack.
Okay.
Interspecial impregnation, I think, is. I've invented something, I think.
Oh, I'm sure there's some people that have some
Pornhub
papers
does have an interspecies impregnation section.
category. Okay.
That's the second hit.
Okay.
Interspecies impregnation on Pornhub.
So you're not wrong.
Is it possible? Okay, Quora. Is it possible?
Quora? How's your podcast? Well, they went to Quora. They answered an interspecies impregnation question. Oh my God. Apologize.
What's eating Gen Z? USA Today snapshots.
Oh.
The top 10 stressors. Well, yeah, speaking of stress.
Well, who's more stressed? Who's more stressed in a middle school
Gen
fucking
Zers
teacher?
or a middle school teacher or a Gen Z middle school teacher is probably like on
What?
the.
Oh, then that would be...
How old's Gen Z?
What's Gen Z?
Younger than us, but still.
Well, that's everybody.
You'd still be a teacher, right?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Gen Z. Oh no, top 10 reasons stresses reported by Americans ages 18 to 22. So no, those aren't teachers.
No, you can't be a teacher.
Not quite.
Close. You could be... Maybe. Be a 23 or 24.
78 years. 78
Same years of age.
78% say that money is
Yeah.
their number one stress.
Totally.
65% say health issues. That's not good. Should be
Health issues for someone who's how old?
18 to 22. That's not good at all.
Mental health? Mental
Just
health.
says health issues.
Okay.
64% say work.
Yep.
56% say family.
Oh, man.
55% are worried for their personal safety.
See, just their own physical safety.
55% say that their relationships cause them stress.
You got to get out of it then. Get out.
52% say that housing housing costs,
Oh, yeah.
job stability at 51%, the economy,
That's a lot of things. The economy.
44%, a little existential,
Yeah.
and discrimination, 38%.
Yowza.
I would say that a middle school teacher should be less stressed out than like a high school teacher. Because like a high school teacher, they like fight you.
They'll punch you.
Like a middle school, maybe like, I don't know, like you could still wrestle one
You
of
know
them
what it is?
to the
It's like-
ground or
'cause
something.
yeah, but they got sharp tongues in middle school. It's the back talk that wears on you.
Or maybe you still have hope for them at middle school, so you're actually still trying to put in effort as opposed to just
care
fucking
so
phoning
much.
it in and like, you know,
Yeah, that you still feel like you're going to make a difference, and then when they
when they
side
stab
eye
you.
you, and then and then get
Shiv
you,
you.
shiv you with a number 2 Ticonderoga, and then you're just like, why? Yeah. But I hope it's health, not physical health, because
think
that would
it's-
be so. What would be?
Well,
Usually, you're
the
not thinking
only
about
problem
that.
with that is I agree with you, but the problem with that is that mental health is much more difficult to find solutions for than physical health. At 18 and 22, if you're having physical health, like you could change your diet, you could exercise, you could drink more water. There's all sorts of things that could happen. If you're having mental health issues, you're dealing with a very vague, broad, sort of like unclear situation. That is alarming. And either of them to be dealing with any type of detrimental issue with your mind or body at that age is not doesn't, it's not good.
And
That's
because
doesn't bode well.
Who's going to help you too? Because that's just going to be, someone's just going to try to put you on something. That's all they're going to do. They're not going to really try to.
Oh, they're just going to try and fucking,
What do you, can I get you on something? Well, I've been on a bunch of stuff. Let me get you
Let
on
me
something
get you on
new.
something else.
When did you start? 12. Let me see what you got. Let's try something new. We got new stuff every day. You tried this? Yeah. This? Yeah. This? No. Hit it.
Done.
Call me in 6 months.
6 months.
I mean a year. I mean never.
Bye.
Endless refills. Money. Insurance. Late. Tell your parents lose my number. Out. Tough. That's what I was saying at the beginning of this episode. Everybody's going through some shit. So I guess you gotta lean on the people closest to you that really care about you. Not some doctor.
I don't trust anybody.
Oh, you don't even trust the people close to you. They're lying right to your face.
No, I was just thinking about how lucky I was that I don't know what I would do if I needed that stuff and didn't know how or what to ask for.
Well,
because
it's not even that, but it's the fact people don't have the resources probably to.
I mean, the resources, you can basically go to a free clinic and get prescribed antidepressants because there's some company or something some company that's giving the doctor, you could probably get them for free. You know what I mean? You could probably skip around and but if you're trying to get psychological evaluation and then get someone to properly assess your mind and then make a prescription, absolutely. Resources could be very limited, both by money or the area that you're in and all sorts of stuff. But I mean, the adverse effects that I had trying some of that stuff earlier on, man, I don't know. If that shit was went unchecked, that could have gotten real dangerous. That stuff
stayed
really,
on one of
something
them.
That ain't right for you, or I mean, whew.
Wow.
Because going through it is bad enough, but then going through it and then throwing some shit in the mix that doesn't do things the way that it's supposed to, that can be real dangerous.
Meaning,
I guess the wrong medication.
Okay, but prescribed medication. You know what I mean? Self-medication. Okay.
Yeah, being try this, and then you having an adverse reaction to it. It's really it's so fucked up because it's the times that people seek out that type of help.
Yeah.
Is when they're in dire, desperate need of it. But that's such a fragile time in the mind that changing it up with certain things can really exacerbate some of that stuff. So it sucks because there's no way you're going to have the foresight to be oh, I'm prone to depression and suicidal thoughts. So let me get ahead of the cart here or whatever.
Yeah, and
you're already in the throes of something like that.
Mix.
So God willing, you get something and it subdues some of that for you and gives you some time to think. But I know people that have taken stuff and are this is definitely worse than I was feeling before I went. And I'm I don't know, that's scary.
Yeah.
Which I didn't have that experience, but I know.
Having been young once and knowing that old people don't know shit about shit. I'm assuming that's still going on. Probably worse. It's being exasperated. What about being young and not being able to relate to or talk to anybody who is older in a position that could help you, be it they could prescribe you something or they're licensed to speak to you, but they have no fucking idea what they're talking about because they're not 17 to 27 or whatever. And it's just you don't have any idea what I'm dealing with.
Well, because the world I deal with is not the world that you interact with, nor the one that you grew up in.
Just probably, and that's every,
no,
recycled. But
now
right
more
now
it can be
now.
yeah. Yeah.
You don't know?
I mean, it doesn't take long to be completely out of touch with what the fuck is happening.
Oh my
You could
God.
take a good 4 or 5 months off and be like,
4 or 5 months,
I'm
go to
done.
Palm Springs for the weekend. You're fucked. It's 3 new memes. Oh my God. You kidding me?
So,
Yeah. You're going to talk to some like 61-year-old fucking doctor? Ooh, what? I'm sorry. You fucked. Because it has to be a certain age or education level or to be able to go to them to be like, you're the only one that can give me these pills.
yeah. But just in order to gain that right,
Yeah.
you've lost touch with anything that
Yeah.
I'm dealing
There's a
with.
Jefferson Airplane poster in your office. Sir. Bad news. And if you're thinking of anyone like 17 to 27, they've probably been on something at some point in their lives because they came up in a time when it was just standard at some point for, whether it was for a week or for years, to give them something, a prescription. Whereas when I was 17 to 20, it wasn't a thing. Like in high school, there was no antidepressants. There was no like.
I mean, there was. It just wasn't where you were.
Yeah.
I mean, they were happening. I'm saying it was happening here.
Okay, maybe like in LA and New York, but not in the world.
Yes, exactly.
Like, so to think of like coming up as a person now and being in your 20s, you probably can say, oh, I've been on this at this point in my life for that amount of time. And who knows what the fuck that did to you, for better or worse. Hopefully for
or
better,
you've
but maybe not.
Been on it the whole time.
Or been on it the whole time.
And now you're developing other problems,
Oh,
and
I
you're like,
can't-
well, I take this all the time, but now I'm dealing with this whole other.
Then you got to take. They got a
Oh,
new thing,
chill,
baby.
I
Baby,
got
baby,
you.
we got a new thing. It's Popoquil. Just take it. Have you had Popoquil? Take it. Jonathan, I have a question for you. My parents, they married in 1968. Wow. They divorced almost 42 years later in 2010. They decided to remarry each other in 2013,
Hold on.
and they've been together ever since.
Wait, they divorced when?
They got married in 68. They divorced in 2010.
For 3 years?
They were divorced for 3 years, and then they got remarried.
Fine. What's the big deal? That's great.
Had they stayed together their entire life, they would have celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary in 2018. My husband and I, we recently threw my in-laws a 50th wedding anniversary. My dad's pissed that we didn't offer to throw them in the mix a 50th anniversary party with them. He feels like the years should be bridged. I don't agree, but it seems that he will not let this go.
Fucking bitch.
Need to know.
Fuck you, bitch.
Oh, fuck him!
no.
Sh-
It's 50 years.
What about from 2010 to 2013 when he was eating fucking Hungry Man's and watching Monday Night Football? This is what I always wanted to do.
Did they get separated or divorced?
They were legally divorced. They were legally remarried under the eyes of God and the law. They were apart for 3 years. You can't, what is he called? Bridge them?
But if you
Everybody
bridge them,
wants to bridge.
Okay, you can bridge
Everybody
them.
wants to bridge.
Hold on. You can bridge them, but you still lose the 3 years, right? Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
No, they want to get in like, hey, we've been married for 50 years. And she's like, well, you kind of weren't, because there was, remember in 2010 when you got divorced and like you were eating Hungry Man's and screaming at the TV? This is how I really always wanted it. Monday Night Football.
And then in 2012,
Yeah.
like March of 2012,
Yeah.
things started to get a little
And you're like,
sad. And started calling her late at night.
Oh, man.
Did I
Wanna
wake
bridge
you
it.
up?
Everyone wants to bridge it.
But if you
when
bridge it,
bridging it,
meaning that you actually include the 3 years.
you like, it was just that, it's like people that,
I'm saying this. I'm saying they're allowed to celebrate their 50th anniversary
in 3 years, of course.
when they've been together for 50 years.
That's fine, yeah. But they want to get in on this party that's going on now.
So they
for
want
an actual real couple that never got divorced.
Yeah, I guess that's not fair.
Well, they want to bridge it. How long you been sober? About
52 years.
52 years. There was a 9-year period where I drank 100 beers a day every day. But Listen.
If I could bridge my fucking sobriety,
Oh, you'd be on fire since you were
I'd be like-
17.
I'd be like hosting
Old-timer.
conventions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Las Vegas old timers, John the Larroquette. I swear to God that
I got high with him like 3 years
I'm
ago.
almost positive I drank absinthe with him in a bar in Amsterdam.
Um,
No, we're bridging. We're bridging. Everyone wants to bridge. It's fine. They got divorced. They're back together. It's just
It's awesome.
When you get to 50, you celebrate 50. Still doesn't count because it got fucked up in the middle.
I know it. I know in your eyes it doesn't.
I think they need to, unless they got married in their 20s and was just like 80 years in advance, you really need to get a straight 50. It doesn't count if you get divorced. It's kind of
I mean, it so
restarts.
counts. It's super
It literally restarts.
Totally counts.
No,
but
restarts.
you're such a asshole.
Restart. Oh, you guys got divorced? Oh, so that means like back to, I think it's called square one.
It's called one.
You know anything about zero?
What do you? How does one sound?
You know what I mean? You know how like when you're a baby and like you're born and you're not like 9 months when you come out? No. We wait a year and then we celebrate your first birthday. It's kind of like that. You're back. We don't bridge here. Sorry, mom and dad.
No bridges.
No bridges here. People just love to forget. They want accolades and they want to be lauded and they want to be.
I wonder I wonder if the circumstances in which it happened left one of them embarrassed and wants to pretend like it never happened.
You
because
mean the father, the dad, the one that's trying to bridge?
Hungry man.
Yeah, him. Hungry man. Hungry man Hank. Yeah, him.
Yeah, well,
I mean, we're celebrating 14 years of the podcast, but actually, you brought it up to me about a year before we started. I bridge.
so it's
15 in
really we're
February.
going into our 16th year.
Really going to our 16th year. Thank you, Bridge. Thank you.
And we
Elron.
met.
Oh God, we met before that, and
So
that
it's
was
like-
where
it's
really where
really-
the podcast started. Our
banter. So it's
our
really
light
about our
banter.
20th anniversary.
Bridge, 30 years, Bridge. Okay, but like whatever. I guess it doesn't mean anything at all. But like, if nothing means anything at all, then what are we doing? Everything has to mean everything, and we can't bridge. I'm so sorry, Dad, Hank. He's so pissed at this celebration. Like,
But you definitely have to throw them a 50th anniversary.
yeah, in another.
But I'm
50
saying you don't get to not do it then.
Yeah, are they going to live to be 110? Because that's when we're going to throw it in another 50 years when
You're
they
an
get
ass.
there.
That's not fair.
You guys ain't going to make it. Sorry. You want to be married for 50 years?
Stay
be married
married.
for fucking 50 years, Hank. Oh, yeah, dude. America through the eyes of
Hungry
two
man Hank.
Americans. It's February 2020.
If they hadn't gotten legally divorced.
Even if they got separated, it's done.
No, it's not.
Why? Because legally they
You
were
don't know what
divorced
the
and-
fuck you're talking about.
and separated. They weren't together.
If they're separated and not divorced,
Separated.
and they get back together, it still counts.
No. If I
Absolutely.
separate your arm from your body and keep it in my fucking apartment for 3 years and then give you back your arm, you didn't have your arm for that 3 years.
That doesn't mean it's not my arm, though, asshole.
But was it on your body? Did you use it?
Separated and divorced are two different things.
I guess in a legal document, yes.
Not only in a legal document, people spend time apart when they're together, right? Both on a day-to-day basis and over for long periods of time.
So going to work to a husband
No,
and
people
wife
spend time apart. People don't live together and stay together.
after 3 years.
What do you mean?
What's the cutoff?
There is no cutoff.
Okay.
Married is married. If you don't get divorced, if you're keeping it as cut and dried as you are, then let's keep it cut and dried. Separated is not divorced. So if they're not divorced, then they're married. And if they're married for 50 years, then they deserve to be.
If they go off and live separate lives for 10 years, but they're still legally married, and then they actually do come back together, you will allow them to bridge that time and celebrate because legally documented for those 10 years they were married.
But wait a second. If you're not willing to do that,
Yeah.
then how is it that you plan to arbitrate what they can and how long?
Ask me. I sit down with the couple, explain to me your relationship, and then I'd be like, that's totally fucking jacked. You weren't together. That doesn't count.
So stupid.
I moved to Mykonos and fucked a guy for 4 years, but you were both still married? No, you're not bridging the 4 years. It doesn't count. You weren't together. But we were still married. I don't know. I'm the arbiter. I decide. You're not married. Sorry, no party. Bridge. Next couple. Tell me your story.
This is your job?
Tell me your... It's my job.
But for a man who's never been married.
That's the best. I'm impartial. I can stand apart.
You definitely are not
I can
impartial.
sit for the couple.
100% not impartial.
Let me sit with you two. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Separated is not divorced.
Okay.
People get separated and work things out and get back together.
Yes, they do.
People divorce and they get remarried.
And I love that. I just
separated
need a timeline.
is not divorced.
I just need a timeline.
Sometimes you need a break.
Oh, no doubt.
Doesn't mean you want to get off the ride.
No.
Just means you want to get your equilibrium
I'm just throwing
back.
up on myself. I need to get off this ride. I hate you. I'm puking. I mean, let's get back together. Seth will decide if the bridge. How long was it? It was 6 months. How often did you see each other?
Once a month.
No, we saw each other probably. We have Erica as our child. We see each other a couple times a week. You were sleeping with other people? She was. Oh, okay. Come on, Brian. Calm down.
Why do you want to be up in people's business so much, though?
Because it's the only way to fix it. To fix this whole mess.
No, it's definitely not.
Me. The only way to fix this mess is let me.
Why are you trying to be all up in everyone's business?
Because I want to help. I'm here to help. Yeah, dude, episode 773. Please come back for 774. Thank you to everybody who's been with us on this magical 14-year experience.
Yeah.
Long, strange trip it has been for these two guys right here. We literally, it wouldn't have ever started, couldn't have ever been, and could not have ever continue without you listening. So thank you. You made it all possible, and I hope you can help us continue to keep it possible.
Yeah, stay listening.
Keep listening.
Keep watching. Keep telling people to listen. If you can, please pledge to us on Patreon. Keep the show commercial free and advertising free. And you guys know the drill. It would mean a lot to us if you did it, and it means an awful lot to us that you
allows us to live.
Those of you that do, go to the website, check out Jeff's incredible show notes, click-throughs for the merch store, all the stuff we have for sale. 888-842-2357 is the toll-free voicemail, and uid@me.com is the email. You could also pledge to us on Venmo if you want to just do a one-time kind of thing. That's UID4L, UID for life. What else?
I don't know. It's crazy. It's hard to. Life is very crazy. So hopefully, you can be a homie to somebody. It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
Yeah, be a homie to somebody.
When they tell us, did they tell it? They never told us it was going to be like this. Or
Fritz,
did they?
Fritz didn't say it would be like this.
They didn't say it.
I think some people tried to.
Oh, I did. When my folks.
It was like the person that heard me talking about DMT when I was like 13 years old.
Okay.
And I had like heard about it, and I was like relaying a story that I heard that somebody had told a story about smoking it to somebody else, and then that person told me, and then I was like telling it to these people and was like, no, you don't understand, like there's these like golden beings and like they come and visit you like through these like portals and like blah 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 blah, and like I didn't even know what a pineal. We're not talking. I had no idea what I was talking about. Like I had like snorted Ritalin and like smoked grass.
Okay.
But I was in a public place. I was at 3rd Street Promenade, like in a food court when I was doing it. And I was like telling these two other people. These people even had less drug experience than I did. And I was like, like telling them this crazy. And I just remember this like crazy fucking hippie dude like walking up to me, and he's like, hey, he's like, I heard what you were talking about. He's like, I just wanted to let you know. He's like, everything that person said, that's exactly what it's like. And I was like, ooh.
Oh my God.
And he was like the scariest hippie I'd ever seen in my life. And he was like, like basically
right.
like you don't know what the fuck you don't even know what you're talking about. Like it's all that and more. Like it only took me 30 years to get my hands on it.
Fuck.
But no, I think people kind of hinted at like, oh, there's going to be like suffering and pain you can't even imagine, but not in the way that you would think. Because at the time that they're trying to explain it, you're thinking like, oh, I'm going to be murdered or kidnapped or I'm
wow.
going to,
I didn't,
not like
yeah.
I'm going to have like insurmountable whatever, personal anguish or loss or struggle or whatever. It's never.
I'm just talking when I was a kid, I reach up in the coffee mug in our kitchen that just said, life's a bitch and then you die. And I was like, oh, all right, I guess. If my folks have it on a mug, Joe and Marcia don't lie.
Yeah, I don't know if that's true.
Maybe, yeah.
I don't think that's what it is.
Life's a bitch and then you die.
That's not.
It was on a coffee mug in my house, Jonathan.
It's not right. Life's a beach.
Life's a beach and then you live.
And then you die.
That would be way worse. Hey, everybody. Life's a sandy beach and then you live forever. My mom told me in a coffee mug. No, they let me know right off the bat.
I think it is. It can be a real grind. But again, that when you hear about it being hard like that, I'm like, well, then why do I want to do this? But then what they don't say is, yeah, but it like also becomes so much more weird and precious and special that enduring that bitch is like somehow, it's like it feels
your vision quest.
Maybe it still feels like maybe a fair trade to hopefully to most, that it's still some type of fair exchange or something. I don't know. No, it's not.
I'll take it.
But, no, I hope it is. I certainly hope it is for all of you. And I hope that this year is a joyous one.
Gentle and joyous.
Gentle and joyous.
Seatbelts.
Seatbelts.